The conflict in Act 4, Scene 3 is appearance versus reality. Falsehoods distort reality to highlight the inevitability of death. Falsehoods distort reality to highlight the inevitability of death. Foreshadowing demonstrates how perception is shaped by varying interpretations of knowledge, while juxtaposition enforces a clear discernment between what is accepted and what is morally acceptable.
Foreshadowing is one of our vehicles. Foreshadowing affects the audience's atmosphere, suspending them in apprehension and pity for the coming tragedy. All's one. Good Father, how foolish are our minds. If I do die before thee, prithee shroud me in of these same sheets. In this scene, Emilia and Desdemona are preparing for bed. Desdemona talks about wanting to be buried in her bedding sheets, which were also her wedding sheets, which is foreshadowing her coming death, in which she will be murdered by Othello in that bed. The irony of how foolish are our minds is that it is illogical for women to give up their lives for men. If I do die before thee, shroud me is foreshadowing a promise to Emilia that they will both die together.
She was in love, and he she loved proved mad, and she did forsake her. She had a song of willow, and old thing 'twas, but expressed her fortune, and she died singing it. That song tonight will not go from my mind. This scene shows how Desdemona was singing the Willow song. The syntax, he she loved, shows how men are the main focus of women's lives.
Desdemona will also die.
And this also foreshadows how Desdemona will inevitably die. Both this quote and the last show the conflict between appearance versus reality, where women in reality are trying to help, to show love, but appear to be manipulative and get hurt in the end.
Juxtaposition. Juxtaposition aids in deconstructing the complexity of human morals. Wouldst thou do such a deed for all the world?
Why, would not you?
No, by this heavenly light.
Nor I neither by this heavenly light. I might do it as well in the darkness.
In this scene, Emilia acts as a foil to Desdemona, reflecting Desdemona's righteousness, also emphasizing the mistreatment of women and men. This scene is ironic because Othello is restricted to viewing Desdemona as Emilia, when in reality Desdemona would never cheat on Othello. The repetition of would emphasizes the fact that Desdemona would never do such a thing as cheating on Othello, which is ironic because Othello truly believes that Desdemona has cuckolded him. The heavenly light that they speak about in this scene has different connotations. Desdemona swears by God that she would not cheat on Othello, while Emilia means she wouldn't do it with the light on, but isn't opposed to doing it in the dark.
Why, we have galls, and though we have some grace, yet have we some revenge. Let husbands know their wives have sense like them. They see and smell, and have their palates both for sweet and sour, as husbands have. This is in Emilia's monologue, in which she appeals to the senses, using the terms sweet and sour and palates, which demonstrates the human characteristics for desire and want. This also highlights the reality that wives have sense like them. They do not just want to be pushed around and beat up. This in turn reveals contrasts, but similarities between man and woman, seemingly different, but in reality the same, sense like them. EB, visuals.
Lara, presentation.
Flo, great person. Just kidding, voice actor.